Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, April 20th, our next edition of Social Distancing at the Chamber. Happy Hour with Hammer. Glenn, it's the birthday edition. Happy Hour. Happy birthday.
Nope. Thanks, Garrick. No better way to spend it and to end the official workday than on the show with you.
Well, thanks. I would ask you what you're doing tonight, but I already know what that is. You're not doing anything.
Well, I'm here with my two oldest girls, and they've been treating me super well. So I think it's going to really end with some sort of big-time chocolate cake. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's good. That's good. All right, first topic, we'll call it Better Late Than Never. Senate leadership thinks we've got a deal tomorrow. They are hashing out a final package as we speak. Billions more going into the Paycheck Protection Program. You've been calling for this for a while. We're finally there, we hope.
We hope. They're certainly taking the scenic route in the United States Senate. It's unfortunate that politics have been played to some extent with the Paycheck Protection Program. The program has strong bipartisan support. Our two U.S. Senators Sinema and McSally, strongly support. Senator Sinema was mentioned in a Wall Street Journal editorial on Saturday as one of the Democrats pushing for the program. It's the lifeline for small business, Garrick. We know it's helped thousands of businesses in Arizona. I believe now it's over, what's the number, $4.5 billion or so in terms of approved loans that are really forgivable grants for Arizona businesses. It's the only game in town, and it's out of dough, and it needs more now.
Yeah. It seems like every show we've done up to this point after the money ran out, in fact, even before the money ran out, you were saying Congress had to put more in, kind of dragged its feet. You said it wasn't the world's best moment for world's greatest deliberative body. It stubbed its toe on this one, but hopefully we've got a deal.
Yeah, hopefully we have a deal. They're still not getting back the world's most greatest deliberative body for some time. And if the outline of the deal holds, it looks like it's pretty solid. Over $300 billion of new funds for the Paycheck Protection Program, maybe 50 or 60 billion for the emergency loan program, which is also important, could cover a lot of non-payroll costs, as well as extra money for the hospitals, and they need it. They've been hit very hard, particularly with the suspension of most elective surgeries, and $25 billion for testing. Sounds good as well. We both know that as we try to reopen the economy, testing's a big part of it.
Yeah, lots going on in the reopening the economy conversation. And without testing, you're not going to have the consumer confidence that you need for people to engage in everyday commerce.
Well, today was a proud day for Arizona. The vice president mentioned the deal between Governor Ducey and the University of Arizona for the 250,000 antibody tests during the daily briefing. So we're making progress. There were missteps early on by the CDC. They've opened it up now to the private sector, and the private sector is responding. And I believe at the end of the day, this is going to be a very good moment for Arizona innovation and ingenuity, as we've already seen by the University of Arizona's deal with the state.
Yeah, that's excellent progress there. All right, next topic. I want to read a headline to you because I know it's been something that we've been banging on about. Wall Street Journal headline was in the race for small business loans, winning hinged on where firms bank. Glenn, we've heard a lot of frustration from within the membership and outside the membership. People couldn't really make heads or tails of why some companies were getting approved quickly and others weren't. Your thoughts on that?
Well, we've felt very strongly that this should not be a first come, first serve. I mean, this should be the type of thing where if you meet the criteria, you should have the ability to apply and to be accepted. It's like with unemployment insurance, we don't say if you're not in line, you're out of luck. That would be wrong. And it's wrong here for small business. This is the only lifeline. This is the only way for a lot of small businesses to bridge the gap between now and the next couple of months as their revenue has either been eliminated or decimated. We know about a quarter of small businesses in America have already temporarily shut, and another 40% will follow suit. This is the best game in town, and let's make it easier for companies to apply and to get this aid.
Glenn, I think one of the things that was especially frustrating about the PPP running out of money is when it ran out of money, is that the program started to be getting its sea legs. Lenders were getting more comfortable with the program, and then it went temporarily belly up. Hopefully we're back in the game as soon as tomorrow, because there are a lot of businesses that are still in line and they're still waiting.
Well, the thing is that as we're having this conversation, this delay is not without pain or consequence. There are businesses all across Arizona and America that between that delay and the time where the money will come back online have called it quits, at least temporarily.
Right.
Hopefully this will help get them back in. It shouldn't be first come, first serve. It should be as flexible as possible in terms of where those funds go for those companies that are doing everything possible to keep workers on payroll and to not reduce pay. And I just want to give a call out. Our lending community, our bankers have done a fantastic job getting the word out and scaling up a program from 0 to 60 in record time. Some of the issues here have been in terms of the rules. But again, I'll even give the SBA and the Department of Treasury somewhat of a mulligan here, simply because of the volume of the demand. Mm-hmm. And they have responded swiftly. And look, the fact is, it ran out of money because something was going right when you think about it. So we'll get it back on track, and we're going to do everything we can at the chamber to identify those small businesses and give them the lifeline to survive.
Glenn, before we move on to our next topic, I don't think you can reiterate that point enough, that the entire premise of PPP is to keep employees on the payroll and keep employees tied to employers, because there are certain industries, when they go, they might be gone for good. And so you don't want that to happen.
22 million Americans have applied for unemployment insurance over the last several weeks. And we know that the next report's not going to be pretty either.
Yep.
This is a program that has already had a positive impact at over 1.6 million small businesses and millions of employees for small businesses across the country. So we need more of this quickly. And it's the only game in town, in my opinion, right now that can measurably keep these unemployment numbers from going even into another part of the atmosphere.
Yep. All right. Next topic, the cover of The Economist. I'd love to get your take on it. Asks a rhetorical question. Is China winning? Glenn, you're a global armchair pundit. Is China winning?
No one's winning in this pandemic. I mean, the way we're going to win is for all of us to work together as a global community, whether it's developing the vaccines or the treatments or the personal protective equipment. We all need to work together on this. Now, I will say that I like looking. I don't like looking, but I think that you can look at the world pre-COVID and post-COVID, sort of like pre-911, post-911. And I do think that there are going to be two major power centers. It's like for many years in the NBA, it was the LeBron James Cavaliers against the Steph Curry Golden State Warriors. I think it's now going to be Team USA and Team China, not as enemies, but strategic competitors, or maybe even a little bit hotter than strategic competitors. So I would say we have to win that. We're going to have to do everything possible to get the North American trade agreement up and running effectively, as well as expend opportunities with like the UK, whose economy equals Canada and Mexico's. So never bet against America. We're always going to win. The innovation that's going on in this country as we speak is remarkable. But it's funny you mention that, because I do spend a lot of time thinking about this. There's a great book that's worth reading. It's I don't know if you can see it, Tech Titans of China by Rebecca Fannin. And if you're wondering, for those keeping score at home, yes, she is related to our former governor, Paul Fannin and Bob Fannin.
Cool.
I met her during my travels in Israel. She's an expert on China and tech. There's a lot going on there. And that's why we have to maintain our innovative edge. And just as a little bit getting back to the Paycheck Protection Program, some have asked, well, should it be open to companies that are VC backed? You know, there's all sorts of different interpretations of the rules. And here's my answer: hell yes, because these are the companies that are going to be our future. And it's not just in pandemic related things, it's in all sorts of areas of tech. We will be okay, but it's a pretty big battle right now between Team USA and Team China, and we have to come out ahead.
You know, before the pandemic, let's say you were an American manufacturer and you would get a particular widget, let's say from outside the United States, you'd have to decide, well, should I get that widget from Mexico or from this hemisphere, or should I get it from China? What's the best deal? Do I want my inventory overseas, sitting on a boat coming across the ocean? You'd have to work out these calculations. But Glenn, now that it's a much higher stakes question, especially when it comes to things like medical equipment and PPE. Do you think that we will begin to rethink about where we're sourcing certain material from?
Absolutely. And we have to, we're going to have to do it if not in this country, in this hemisphere. And that's where I believe Arizona is going to do very, very well. We have a great manufacturing base. When this thing hit, we had more manufacturing jobs than construction jobs. Yeah. And I love the innovation. You look at like Brooklyn Bedding, and we have a bed from Brooklyn Bedding. It's fantastic. But they immediately went into innovative mode and have been making things to help deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. So what I'm looking forward to, Garrick, is you're going to see these supply chains move. You're going to see, with all the innovation going on in our manufacturing base and with our world-class research universities, I think the sky's the limit for us.
Excellent. Glenn, that'll wrap it up for tonight. Another fantastic show, the birthday edition. So
thank you.
We've got lots of good guests lined up for this week. We hope you will tune in again. We will put a link to that book that Glenn, you want to show us the book one more time that Glenn recommends?
Yeah.
Tech Titans of China.
Tech Titans of China. It just came out, I think, 2019. It's Rebecca Fannin. She does the Fannin name proud.
Love it.
It's really worth reading. And my takeaway from this book is there's no amount that's too much to invest in our innovative sectors, universities, tech companies, manufacturing, et cetera, trade agreements between our friends to make sure that we maintain what has been as historic dominance.
Excellent. We'll put a link to that. Maybe sell some soap on the show tonight. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Glenn, we'll catch you tomorrow night. Have a great birthday.
Thank you, Garrick.